And welcome everybody to another edition of Historical Geocaching on the Road with Geocacher T and Photobug from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Today I am so excited because my dad and I are here in Ringgold, Georgia at the Battle of Wrinkle Gap Historical Park here. There is three really cool bits of history I want to tell you guys about. First of all, how in November of 1863, the Confederate General Patrick Cleburne held the federal advance here in Ringgold for 5 hours. Second of all, how 6 months later, Union General Sherman started the campaign for Atlanta right here in Ringgold. And thirdly, how Cleburne suggested the idea to the Confederacy of using slaves as soldiers.
So first we have this Ringgold Gap historical marker. I know it's a little hard for you to read, but I can still tell you the history. If you visit Ringgold yourself, you'll see that there very much is a gap in the mountains. And Confederate General Patrick Cleburne used this geography to his advantage on November 27, 1863. This happened right after the disastrous Confederate loss in the Battle of Missionary Ridge. That meant Chattanooga was now in Union hands, and Union Army was pursuing the Confederates as far as possible into Ringgold through the Ringgold Gap. Cleburne and his men held up the Federal advance for 5 precious hours, while their comrades, the other Confederates, helped carry off trains and artillery. For his brave actions, Cleburne was officially recognized and thanked by the Confederate Congress. And next we have this Atlanta campaign marker. It's talking about how just 6 months after Cleburne held up Federal troops here in Ringgold, Union General William Sherman and his army started for Atlanta from here. They marched through towns such as Dalton, Reska, Adairsville, and others. And once conquering the capital of Georgia itself, the famed March to the Sea began. This utterly destroyed Georgia contributed to the division of the Confederacy and General Lee's eventual surrender the following year. It all started here at Ringgold. As between the loss of independence and the loss of slavery, we assume that every patriot will freely give up the latter, give up the Negro slave rather than be a slave himself. So wrote General Cleburne after his stunning success at the Battle of Ringgold Gap. Using his claim to fame for good use, Cleburne proposed to the Confederate High Command the idea of emancipating slaves in exchange for them serving as Confederate soldiers. It was a radical idea. After all, the platform that the Confederates had been fighting on the entire Civil War was one on which they could keep their slaves. However, by January 1864, Patrick Cleburne realized things were getting desperate. Interestingly enough, Cleburne gained support for his proposition both from Alabama slave owners and the current soldiers under him. When he presented the idea to his superiors, not surprisingly there were some mixed reactions, some thinking his idea indeed treasonous. However, the Confederate top brass finally realized their precarious position when on March 13, 1865, they authorized Confederate colored troops, as they were referred to, and the bargain being that the new recruits would receive their freedom at the end of the war. The responsibility of organizing these new slaves-turned-soldiers fell to Confederate Commander-in-Chief Robert E. Lee. Less than a month later, Lee surrendered to Grant at Appomattox Courthouse.
And thank you everyone so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning the history of Patrick Cleburne and the cool Civil War history that happened right here in Ringgold, Georgia. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more of my history videos or other videos of even Ringgold, Georgia history right here, be sure to check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/tnphotobug. And until next time, this is Geocacher T and Photobug signing out. I'm indeed having a blast with the bass.